QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022 OneNote Presentation Journal Report. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022. If you have access to OneNote, would like to follow along, icon left-hand side, topic introductions 4220 journal report. Also take a look at the immersive reader tool, topic introductions in the text area too, same name, same number, but with transcripts. Transcripts that can be translated into multiple languages, either listened to or read in them. Same name and number as presentations as well. Topic introductions designed to give an introduction to the topic. Screenshots, links where applicable, accounting background to complement the presentations and can be used to follow along with them if you don't have access to the software at that time. Closing the icon on the left-hand side, we're looking at the journal reports, which you can get to by going to the reports drop-down, accounting and taxes. We're looking at the journal report. You can also get there in the report center. Notice here we're looking at a transaction detail report that you can get to by double clicking on the checking account from the balance sheet or trial balance. We're going to have a detailed looking report similar to that, but it's going to give us more activity, not by account like a general ledger, but the activity by date. And it's going to give us expanded information rather than having this nice one line item with a split over here. It'll give us the actual journal entries. This is the other way you can get there. We're looking at now the report center, account and taxes on the left-hand side. We're looking for this journal report. When you think of the journal, you might think that it's only going to give you those transactions that you entered as a journal entry as opposed to a form like a check, credit memo, bill, and so on and so forth. But no, not the case. It's going to give you all the transactions, including all the types of the transactions, and it's going to give you the detail in terms of debits and credits and the accounts that will be impacted. This giving you more detail than you would see if you run a transaction list by date, because the transaction list by date will really only give you the split column. This will give you enough information to show you all the detail within it. This is another great tool if you're trying to see and you're supervising someone to see what has been done. It's also could be useful for a billing process if you would like to bill not by hour, but rather by the transactions that have been put in place and add a level of complexity, not just looking at the number of transactions, but the complexity in them. Seeing, for example, the number of accounts that are applied to them as well could be a useful tool. Also a great tool if you're just trying to learn the debits and credits and get a better idea of what these forms are doing with regards to which accounts are going to be impacted and then the debits and credits that would be involved with it. Here's another look. Here's a complex invoice down here. If you have complex invoices that you're dealing with and you're trying to create a billing process to bill on something rather than hourly, but the number of transactions or the number of accounts that are impacted, this report can give you that added detail in that case as well. You can also export it to Excel. Instead of counting all the accounts, which would be difficult, you can use a count function to count the items that have activity in it, which is another way you could quickly get to that number of how many accounts are affected within the time frame that you are looking at, possibly a month, for example, if you're looking at a billing type of technique. It's another one that you could sort with as well if you want to sort most commonly by type and then sort by checks, memos, bill, and so on. So you can get a transaction like this, where in this case we sorted by general journal, meaning when we entered an actual journal entry. When we enter the information into our practice problems, we will be doing general journal entries for the adjusting entries at the end of the period and reversing entries. This is a great report to focus in on those types of entries as well, as we will see in future presentations.